Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I'm on my e-bike. I'm doing better with my sciatic nerve issues, but they're still there. But I tried riding my e-bike the other day, and everything worked fine. I was very, very careful, and so I thought, well, if I can ride 3 miles, I can go to the park that my grandson likes to go to, and fly my drone over there, and I'll be able to get a different perspective on the housing development that they're taking all the time in the world to get it done. I don't know if it's because of the price of lumber or or some other reason, but anyway, so we're going to go on over there, and I'm going to tell you a story as I take off and fly around and then come back. And this is a story I think I've told before, but never with the detail I'm going to give you today. So I hope I can get it all fit in 8 minutes. So anyway, back when I started working at Walmart many years ago, that would be 2000, the year, and then there was this guy that was stocking shelves, and I very seldom did I come in the morning, but sometimes I filled in for the department manager in the hardware department. And there was this guy there stocking shelves, and he was a nice guy. And so, but the only thing is, he had a very foul mouth, and so I don't know how I communicated it to him, but he came to understand that I didn't appreciate his foul mouth. I mean, it was really bad. So we got to know each other. He knew I knew about computers, and he had some computer problems, I guess. And so I went over to his house and helped him with their stuff. And of course, he didn't know that much. And so here we're taking off to fly over these houses and go over and take a look at the two little houses that are all by themselves in this huge development. And also, my drone was something happened to the setting that made it stay level, and it was doing the VFR thing. Anyway, so there's the houses over there on the right, and we're going to go circle around those, take a look at them. So in the process of going over and helping him several times, we became good friends. And one of the things he said right away at the beginning is, I asked him, I said, how come you don't use language like that anymore? And he said, because I know you don't like it. So anyway, I helped him a lot of times, and then one time he had an outlet problem, so we pulled the couch out, and while I was working on the outlet, he said, how do you know for sure whether or not you can go to heaven? And I love it when somebody asks me that, because then I can tell them about Jesus. So I went through it, and he decided then, right there on the spot, that he wanted to give his life to Jesus. And so we had a good time, every once in a while, and we still work together at Walmart. Well, anyway, finally he had to quit Walmart because he found out that he had cancer, and so that was sad because he was just a super nice guy. So he was getting worse, and so one thing he had hundreds of pictures of World War II planes, all kinds of World War II. I don't know where he got them, how he collected them, but a history book covering World War II used a lot of them, and so he showed me the acknowledgments in that book that they sent him. And so he was really proud of that, but he loved airplanes, and he knew I was a pilot. And one of the things that he had never done is gone over to the Seattle Museum of Flight. And so I decided, I always wanted to take him, but never got around to it. So I thought, we better do it. So we planned on one Saturday to fly from Pasco, Washington, which is on the eastern side of the state, over to Seattle, Washington, which is on the western side. And the western side picks up all the moisture that comes off the ocean and dumps it as it comes across that part of the state, and then goes over the mountains and dumps it some more. And when it gets over to Pasco, well, it's all nice and clear. So in Pasco, we always had good weather. So we took off one Saturday morning, and I flew over, and I was on ham radio with my brother, by the way, as I traveled. And he said, well, it's overcast over here. And then so I flew on over and got over the overcast, and I was looking for a hole to go through, but there just wasn't anything. So we turned around, came back over on the top of the pass, and there's those houses, those two lonely little houses. Looks like they're different styles. But anyway, so there was a little, it's called DeVry airstrip, and and it was real windy. The winds were coming from the west to the east, and so we have to land into the wind. So we swung around and got to the downwind side of the strip. It was a non-controlled strip. There wasn't anything there, just a strip. And so we got on the other side of the strip and started coming down. Well, as the air, it was really blowing. I mean, really blowing. And as the air came over the mountain, and I started heading into the wind, then I had to come over a bunch of trees and then drop down. And the strip wasn't real long, but it was plenty long enough. But anyway, it wasn't a big strip like you see at airports and stuff. So we're coming down, and the thing that was going on was it was so gusty that my airspeed indicator would go way, I usually land at about 60 miles an hour, and it would go way over 60 and then go way below 60 and way above because of the gusts that I was fighting. And of course, then it would raise me up and drop me and raise me up and drop me. And that's the area where I filmed recently where they were digging up the sewer. And it looks like they're getting ready to do another one on the other side of the road. They were working on the near side when I was there. So anyway, we came in, and I mean, it was one of those landings where you just have to be real careful. And then it was so windy that if you ever tried to taxi a tail dragger, turning around and going back and find a place to park was pretty tricky, because the air can pick up the tail of the plane, the wind can, and then flip you down on your nose, or that if it's strong enough. And it was pretty strong and gusty that day. So anyway, we ended up landing, and then we waited all day. I contacted my brother, and he says, no, it's not breaking up. And so finally, after sitting up on the top of the mountain for a couple of hours, we decided, let's just give it up for this time, and we'll go again sometime. So we took off and flew back, and I think we stopped at Ellensburg to refuel. But anyway, we flew back to Pasco, and that was the end of our trip. Well, so he was finally in the hospital, and I would go and visit him and see how he was doing. And each time I went to visit, he was worse off. And so they're pouring concrete for sidewalks, as you can see. And that's what they're working on all over the place, actually, several places. So anyway, I go back, and he was worse. And one time near the end, I went back, and the nurses told me that he's not going to live a week. He's not going to live more than a week or so. And so I felt pretty bad. So anyway, I came back a time or two during the week, and then finally I came back, and they told me he's passed away. So that was sad, because I lost a friend, but the good news is he wanted to know how to go to heaven, and I was able to tell him that. And that's always a blessing to me, and I hope it's a blessing to you. And so anyway, I'm coming into land. As always, I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless you.